Hello and welcome to RPG Research's Heroes of the Mist. I'm your host and game master, Hawk Robinson. We're broadcasting live this January 6th, 2019. It's our first Heroes of the Mist broadcast of the new year. Woohoo! Heroes of the Mist is an audience interactive Advanced Dungeons & Dragons first edition campaign set in a homebrew multiverse setting. This is a family-friendly stream. We are trying to just give you kind of an example of what just average tabletop role-playing gaming is like. The only one here who's a professional performer would be Joe, who's remoting in from Seattle. He's a professional at Jet City Improv. Everybody else here, you know, gaming is a hobby. It's something we do for fun. Some of us are doing it as volunteers to help out and become better game masters, etc. But the rest are, you know, just... So there's a whole series of articles, it turns out. So we were talking on the RPG Talk Show Thursday about the Mercer effect and the Critical Role effect. That people have been thinking that the way they run the game is the only way to run a role-playing game. That you have to be a professional voice actor to do the game. And that you have to be a game master who has everything professionally polished and ready to go to run a game, or else you shouldn't even bother. So that's been going around for building for a while. That was part of the reason for putting this together, is I wanted, you know, way back when we did in the summer, well, back in last year when we started this idea, was I wanted people to just see what an average game is. That's why I don't use a bunch of tech, you know. We have stuff going to do the broadcasting, but we're not using Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, and, you know, I encourage you guys to use voices and such, right? That just helps enhance it. But you're not professional voice actors and such. And just to see that it's accessible for lots of people to play, to just have fun. It does not have to be, this is a recreation medium. Role-playing game is recreation, not entertainment. What Critical Role does is an entertainment medium. They're broadcasting a show for you, which is a different way to play the game. And they have their own particular gaming style, which is their own particular gaming style. So Mercer said, he's like, I'm really sorry to hear that this is happening. That was not the goal. You know, he's done a great job raising awareness of gaming. But it's a two-edged sword. It's a two-edged sword, though. That popularity has set a bar that average people coming in who want a GM think they have to perform at that level, and like they don't have to perform at all like that. Unless you're doing a show, you don't have to do the entertainment side. You just need to do the recreation side. So that's part of what the show is meant to help. The show is sit around a table in kind of average style and just play games, have miniatures, battle mats, whiteboard, whatever, and not have all of that great production quality that they're doing, just so people hopefully find it a little more accessible. But some things that we do differently for the entertainment factor is it is an audience interactive show. So if you're watching our stream live on twitch.tv/RPG Research, if you're hanging out in the stream, you can affect the story. You automatically gain hero points just loitering in the Twitch stream. You gain bonus hero points by tweeting about us and Facebooking, etc. And also, if you donate, which is another reason for the show, to help raise funds for the 501c3 nonprofit RPG Research, you get a gaggle of bonus hero points. And then you can spend those hero points on a whole shopping catalog of things that will then happen almost real time here in the show. For example, one audience/volunteer member decided that he wanted to spend a whole bunch of points to have you guys run in the last session, run into a wood elf who had useful information. You guys remember that wood elf? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What were the two major tidbits of information that you learned from running into that wood elf, thanks to an audience member?
Wood elves are jerks.
That was just bonus. That's bonus info.
Well, your character already knew that.
You didn't do that.
That's just reinforcement of your own view of the stereotype.
There is a war going on between the Wood Elves and the Northrends and the Centaurs.
Right.
It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear if the Northrends and the Centaurs are allied or if it's a three-way war.
Right. That wasn't clear. Correct.
We also learned that the magical barrier keeping the monsters
You didn't learn that from the wood elf, though.
but kind
The
of.
other thing we learned from the Wood Elf is that Wood Elves are bad at fighting because he was nearly dead.
Yeah.
He did say. He did explain it after the fact, when we were wondering why it happened when we weren't near the where the barrier was supposed to be.
Right. Okay, but there was one other. So there was the battle and one other key piece of information.
That's all I remember. How about you guys?
We're gonna have to pick a side.
Really?
We're gonna have to pick a side if we're gonna get through.
Nope, that wasn't what the Wood Elf revealed.
It's
Lily?
the Mordredian weapons we're tracking.
Yes!
That.
The Mordredian weapons.
I don't know, we just got rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
What's that?
I said we just got rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, remember you got destroyed all those nice weapons, those wonderful killing arrows and...
I got a magic sword. It's got a name.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of upgraded.
Although,
But...
I'm not -3 to hit.
But yeah, that was a key thing that you guys... when you offered some of the Mordredian equipment to him, he called you a bunch of fools, threw a spell on it, threw it on the ground, it was all glowing, most of your Mordredian glowed, and then he ran off and ran away saying, you're leading them right to us. And
we don't know that. He didn't say that they were tracking us.
okay, that's your assumption, right? Okay, that was your extrapolation.
Murder, but we destroyed him anyway.
Yeah, and
Ignorant fear.
yeah.
Actually, they were all like Wood Elf Bane weapons.
we didn't really destroy them so much as toss them into the dangerous part of the woods.
Yes, well, you still haven't talked to Sir Karn yet about exactly what happened. All you know
Aside
is
from the fact that he got chased by
he
laser
went
raptors.
running in the woods and came back with and a couple of
Laser raptors.
plucked ostriches that shot
raptors.
fireballs out of their eyes and were chasing him. And you guys killed one and the other one ran away, right?
Yeah.
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 I scared one
Yes,
away
it
with
was
a giant goose.
Right. That's right, with your ubiquitous illusions. Well, it's fitting your goals. That's you want to be the greatest illusionist on Earth, or on Beru. So, then some of you had taken the horses and such and had run south, but have now looped. I think everybody had looped back.
Yeah,
I think
we're
you
all
all
together.
looped back. When we ran, we had to stop the show. It was the end of the year, and so we had to stop the show. And that was where we left things off at. Now, if you're new to the show, go ahead and swing by mistheroes.com, although I need to do some more updates there. That is where you can check out the characters and the players a little bit. We still got to set up more of your bios there. But also there is the audience interaction thing where you can see the catalog of things that you can do to have real stuff happen that you can impact in this adventure. You can't change the overarching whole campaign, but you can make things really interesting in good and bad ways for the party as they adventure. And of course, we hope that you will donate by swinging by rpgresearch.com and click on donate, or go to patreon.com/rpgresearch and join as a Patreon supporter there, and you will get a ton of bonus hero points. So check that out. So let's bring up to speed where each of you were at when we wrapped up last session. Where were you at?
I was coming back with pack animals.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming back with them.
Okay. Actually, let's back up a second. How about you introduce your characters and yourselves and your characters, and then you can do that. So,
I'm Adam. I'm playing Torn. He was a human thief, though don't call him that because he's really just a hick from the sticks. And as I said before, he got a magic sword. His name's Torn. Oh, it doesn't quite sing or do anything fancy like that, but supposedly it'll kill the undead, which I ain't ever seen. And are they really undead or just like not dead? Are they alive then? I mean, that never really made sense.
Okay. I'm Lillian. I am playing River. She is a sea spirit folk, but she looks human. She just looks Asian. Wujen, martial artist, and she follows Ryujin, Lord of the Sea.
And I am Andrew, and I am playing Talk, who has a bit of a lilt, and he fancies himself a stage magician, though he's actually a real illusionist. but he wants to use a combination of trick illusions and real illusions, which is a funny phrase,
To make the greatest.
to be an entertainer.
Greatest show on earth. On Beru.
To be a stage show entertainer, a bit of a David Copperfield type experience.
And to help spread the word of cord to our wrestle church.
Yes.
American church.
Not so
Not
much.
it. That would be you. And Katie.
I am playing Moisha Turtlebomb. Moisha sounds a little bit like Eeyore. He is a dwarf tailor, not so sure about this adventuring business that he's gotten himself into, but he's very proud of having finished off this fearsome creature that just recently attacked us.
Mm-hmm. He's feeling pretty good about that?
He's so glad he's not dead.
Okay, yeah, that's a bonus. Joe.
I'm Joe Coonan. I am playing Fabhug Warrior, who is a simple silks and weaving merchant. He works for his grandfather, but as a well-respected weaving concern in far-off Oridia. He's a half-elf, which is kind of weird, because he has 8 brothers and sisters, and they're not any part elf at all, so Thanksgivings are weird. And his skill set is fighter thief, because he mostly doesn't like do the selling or the buying of the weaving. He mostly goes in and enforces contracts when people aren't, paying what they're supposed to. He just takes what they have until they've paid enough.
Bust some kneecaps.
Make him an offer they can't refuse.
He makes them offers they can't refuse by making offers that they didn't know they made. Yeah. Just steal away like a thief in the night. It's an offer they can't refuse. They didn't know that it was happening.
And maybe you went into that branch of the business because your intelligence wisdom stats aren't exactly up to snuff for salesmanship and such.
I have average intelligence 11. I have a 10 of wisdom, and my charisma is 9.
That was it, charisma
I
as
do
well.
not-
Yeah, a little gruff.
I
Yeah.
can't sleep anything. I'm pretty.
And high strength.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And recently I found God.
Yeah.
Found a god.
And he's the only God who actually does anything. You do push-ups in his glory. It makes you stronger.
Praise
It
God.
comes to mind that if you just do push-ups, you get stronger anyway. So
But you get stronger.
Stronger, yes. And if you want to check out more about the campaign world, you can go to beru.world, beru.world, to check out the. I don't know if you guys have seen the map of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a wiki there with different parts. Now, a lot of that's not revealed to the public. It, like, slowly as the show progresses, pieces become revealed. But there's enough there to give you some background on what's going on in the current circumstances, politically, etc.
And of course, there's some things that aren't going to be on there ever because they're
Right.
in
Yes.
your brain.
They're very, very secret. Well, they're in there, but they're not public.
Yeah.
It helps me organize all this because I have folders.
All right, you hear that, hackers?
Oh yes, that'd be such a big reveal.
Russia's just gotten onto it, and China.
Before we jump
the
into
road to the desert. It's called the Desert Road. Ha
before we jump into the show, John, those 2 books we just got today.
They're right here.
Okay, they're right here. Well, we've
I've
got
heard of one of them.
Yeah.
a brand new Dungeons and Dragons book.
This is just for a kid's story, just kind of introduce people to this kind of a fairy tale version of D&D. It's not an adventure; it's just a story.
Oh, I've
to
totally
read to
written it
kids.
off now.
What's that?
Much better than the adventure I could come up with, because I'm ripping that off.
Yeah, your party
from
going to
Ivan
survive
Van-
against 8 liches.
Ivan Van Norman,
Ivan Van Norman,
who was the one who helped get us into Dragon Talk last year and such.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Because
he
from
saw our
Dragons,
bus and
but
trailer
that's my-
fan
known from
Nexus.
Geek and
Sure.
Sundry and
Yep.
King of the Nerds.
Yeah. And then this other thing is because Call of Cthulhu has this new 7th edition coming out or out. Is it out yet?
I believe it's out.
Okay, 7th edition rule set. So to help with the transition of the rules, they put out a solo adventure. So this is why we have the term SABM. So four major formats of role-playing games. The fifth one's hybrids. So tabletop is the original, TRPG. ERPG is electronic role-playing games. So audio, book, choose your own adventures, computer-based role-playing games. All those are electronic role-playing games.
Visual novels, yay.
Yeah, all those electronic role-playing games. And then then we have live-action role-playing, LARP and such. Some are boffers, some are just stories and such. And then solo adventure books and modules. Now, for a long time, I just called them Choose Your Own Adventures because everybody recognizes Choose Your Own Adventures. But that's a product. That's like saying Xerox instead of mimeograph or something like that.
And they don't like it.
Right, it's a trademark. It's a trademarked product.
Yeah, they will sue.
Well, yes. I mean, if you use it inappropriately to sell something, yes. But so we came up with the term because there is no industry standard to describe. There's a lot of different ones. There's interactive novel. There's all these other different ones, but they all have little different meaning. So we came up with solo adventure books, which are like Choose Your Own Adventures, / modules, which are like these. And D&D has them in a whole bunch of. They've had them in this module format or in a book format, but you get a character sheet. You roll dice. It is more than just choose a page. There's a lot more to it. It's closer to the role play experience, but you do it alone. Solo adventure book called SABM.
So they just offload all the GMing onto something that can't argue. Yeah.
Well, and it's limited in what you can do, right? Because it's all pre-scripted, so it's like a really railroaded, video game. But it can be a good introduction. And it just arrived today, so I haven't had a chance to go through, and I don't have a critique of it yet. But we will talk about it in other shows, not Heroes of the Mist, but other shows.
So it's kind of along the same lines as how collectible card game is actually trademarked. So you can't.
It is?
Yeah, you can't you can't describe your collectible card game as a collectible.
Who trademarked that?
Magic.
Really?
Yeah, they actually trade.
So can you say TCG instead of tradable card game? Because it's been CCG / TCG.
I don't know, but I don't know if you can get away with the acronym. But
now we're going far afield. So that gets into the hybrid HRPGs and stuff like that. But anyway, just want to make people kind of aware of that. Some of that's out there. If you're interested in trying a role-playing game yourself, you can try it, even if you don't have any friends in your neighborhood or whatever, or you're nervous about doing it because you're worried about performance anxiety as a GM and such. Try the solo adventures. Frank Metzger's 1983 basic D&D literally walks you through how to play and then how to DM step by step by step. And there's some other books coming out that hopefully will help with that, and we'll be talking about those on other shows.
And I gotta say, if I was a judge, my career, was highlighted with trying to argue the whole this is a trade, the trademark of collectible card game. Question the choices I've made in life.
Okay, all right, on with the show. So, you guys were coming back. You were coming back.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did someone? No, yeah, I believe somebody did shove me and get me out of concentrating mode to keep the goose going.
Yes.
But I was continuing that illusion for a little bit while everybody was perfectly safe.
Yes.
Because I was focused.
Right. You were very focused.
So I guess I'm just waiting around for everybody to get back.
Okay. Well, everybody is. You are all within sight of each other, walking up to each other at this point. Karn, everybody. Katie?
I'm climbing back on my pony then.
Okay.
I have no memory.
Well, you said your character was feeling proud of actually kind of standing up and not getting hurt.
Yes, but I don't know I don't remember what Moisha did after.
I think he just stood around kind of in the moment. Going, I'm alive.
Yeah,
I'm alive.
I think we all kind of just stood around and talked.
We didn't even get to talk yet.
No.
You guys, we didn't even get that far. Karn came back singed, right, and he was ready to run him down and such, but he's come back a little. His backside of the horse, the tail is singed all the way up to the nub, and a little scorched on the flanks, and his backside is a bit scorched, but not too bad. So you are all gathering, and Joe, where is Farhad at? Farhad.
Well, Farhad had very heroically leapt off his horse, did like a triple reverse double gainer backflip into a hero pose landing, put 2 arrows into a fire duck, and the last one ran away, so didn't shoot at it, and that's pretty much where he was when he
Okay.
left.
So you're all congregating. What does your character do now?
Is that bleeding fire?
Oh, the one that died?
Yes, because apparently.
Yeah, it was. It was
Oh,
burning
yeah,
ooze was coming out of it.
Oh, somebody suggested that when we came back, they would try and collect some of the blood.
I tried
I'm not
to put that in a vial. That's right, a metal vial.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was. It wasn't me that wanted to do that.
I thought you had. You're the only
So
one.
you
who
want to
has
discuss
a
this in character?
Oh, I'm just trying to remember
I'm probably
whose idea it was.
Yes. Do it in character.
Yes. Is that thing bleeding fire? Because that looks like it's bleeding fire. What is that? Carl, what is that?
That is its blood, and it will burn you.
Kind of like dismount and like get closer, like a.
He's dismounting and seeing to his horse, getting out some salve and
getting
such
a
which
stick and being
burns.
like.
Karn's looking over sideways, but you see him like wanting to interject and just goes back to the horse. River?
River wants to study this creature a little bit
Okay.
of what it's like.
All right, so you're getting up close and you see him poking the ooze with a stick.
Yep.
Was the stick catching on fire?
It starts smoldering.
So is it like gelatinous napalm kind of blood? we're talking
Yeah,
about here?
yeah, that would be
Or
fair.
like
a little more
or
fluid, a little more
lava-y.
fluid than that. Closer to lava-y, but lava comes in 40 different styles.
Well,
so.
of course.
It would be
I like original lava.
more flowing than pure gelatinous.
Is it the thing where it's like it's hot, or is it more like there's flames coming off of it?
You don't
Both.
know. You want to put your hand in it?
No.
Okay.
I want to stick in it.
Yes, and the stick starts smoldering.
Wow.
Can you leave the stick in?
For a second.
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, you pull it back and it's smoking like you just stuck it in the coals of a fire.
Oh wow.
It's not lit, but it's smoking.
Is that? How does that have? Man, if I could somehow skin that, I bet you could have.
River? So you're seeing this
Yeah.
happening with it. So the blood's coming out of its wounds. Where it hits the ground, it sizzles. There's heat just emanating off its body. It's like hot rocks.
I mean, think if that
Especially in
thing
this
doesn't
cool
burn
air.
itself up, and that skin must be able to sit there and take all that heat, right? So you could just skin it. Man, you could probably put on a shield and fight a dragon. Or,
Well, you're welcome to try if you want. I'll watch.
I wouldn't recommend touching it.
Janera goes up to Karn and hugs him concernedly, glad that he's back okay, and says something in a tongue you don't understand. Farhad, you understand. It's Iridian, and she's just saying, she's very glad that he's okay,
oh,
and asking if he has any wounds.
I know we used some of the bottles of lamp oil. What does that contain? It glass, leather, wood,
Pottery.
pottery?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna grab one.
Yeah, they can be thrown and break against something, and that's how you can use as weapons, because you can throw them and they shatter, and then you throw a torch on them and they light.
Molotov pot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So,
Good.
Corin,
Yeah. Hold up. I guess I go and find a stick and I just wrap some cord around it and wrap some, put some dirt or mud on the cord so it doesn't just catch up. It's
Okay.
and I see if I can take it my pot on a stick and see if I can scoop some of that
Okay, so
blood
you try
up.
to scoop it up with that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's fiddling with that. Talk. What are you doing?
Watching him.
Okay. Bemused.
Yes.
Okay. Moisha.
I wanted to be able to retrieve that arrow, but I suppose that's not going to be practical.
Yeah, it totally burned up.
Rats.
Yep.
I don't have very many arrows.
Yeah.
Well, especially after having to get rid of all the
Others. Yeah, the
more
Mordredian
ones.
The ones that. Okay.
Well,
So Moisha's being glum.
Look around and be gross.
Okay.
It would have only brought you more dread.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, he slipped that one in there. That was pretty good.
Someone passed a stealth check.
Yeah.
you get 200 hero points.
And Farhad. Right.
Because, when you jump off a horse while it's running, things happen.
Yep.
So he runs over, grabs it. Oh, good boy.
Okay.
Who's a good fellow?
Okay.
Who's a good little horse? You haven't had a virtue quite so while. Starts fiddling with him and making sure all his gears tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
He starts heading back towards the group.
All right. Tighten up the cinch, etc. Okay. Great. Dan, if you might want to post about the interaction hero points and stuff in the chat room, the bot on that, let folks know. All right, so you're playing with fire blood from this this dead ostrich-like creature, featherless
I'm
ostrich-like
talking
creature.
to myself, which is loud enough for anyone within about 20 feet to hear me. It's like, oh man, I wonder if you can eat the meat. I wonder if the meat cooks itself.
It's pretty cooked.
I wonder if you can use the brain for tanning, or you have to use something else's brain for tanning.
Oh yeah, and I hear you can get milkshakes straight from Yeti milk.
What? Oh, it makes sense.
Exactly works if you shake the Yeti first.
Well, I don't even want to shake a Yeti.
River, you see him trying to scoop up the blood.
How are you trying to scoop up the blood again?
I have tied a crockware pot to a stick.
So
and I
poured out
coated
one
that.
of the oil flasks.
No, we've used up
We
some.
used
used
up
one.
some of
Okay,
them.
okay. And then he tied that up to a stick.
And then I covered that, like, pretty much I caked some mud onto the string so it wouldn't just burst into flame. And now I'm seeing if I can, like, finagle with another stick
Yeah,
and
the
scoop
best
it out.
thing, you can't really scoop it up very well, but if you hold it by one of the wounds, it's not really pumping, but it's oozing out, and it's just dribbling into it.
Okay.
So that it took some experimenting, but you're finding holding it up against the carcass and let it just kind of ooze into there is your best bet. You push on a little bit, and a little more comes out. We'll try not to get too graphic here, but
Gurgle.
Oh, man, we had time, man. I bet if I took some knives, right, and I tied them onto sticks, and I was real careful and got some rope and we mudded it, we could probably string this thing up and skin it.
What about spears?
Yeah.
River's trying to figure out a more effective way to get the blood out, but I personally can't think of anything. But
yeah.
Yeah?
We could just hang it from a branch, wound side down.
How big are these things, actually?
yeah.
About 6 feet tall.
That's helpful.
They're big ostrich type size.
That is assuming the rope doesn't start smoldering as soon as you tie it to it.
Are the unwounded areas hot?
How do you want to find out?
I'm asking Torin.
Well, I don't know. I go over to, like, by, like, a leg side or something where it's like,
Okay. Okay.
Really?
He does it. Sizzle, come back with a 3rd-degree burn on your fingertips.
ah,
So
Yeah.
charred fingertip. You just stuck your finger in almost the equivalent of lava.
really?
Take a hit point.
Oh, ow, yeah. No, that's smart.
In the blood or like on the...
On the skin.
No, that thing's...
That was
crazy
the
hot.
skin.
Ow, ow. You got some aloe?
Yes,
Now
we do.
Karn goes, I was going to mention they were bathing in a pool of lava.
What?
When I came across them, they were bathing in a pool of lava.
Oh, that's why they chased you. That's why they chased you. You threw in a bunch of swords into their bathtub. I'd chase you too if you did that to me.
Yeah, they didn't like it. There were a number of other creatures there of strange kind. There was a fissure in the earth right there where I came running up. Whatever the creature was that had torn down the woods, all those trees, stepped right over the fissure, and my horse and I almost fell into it.
Wow.
There were about 100 of these creatures and many other types down in the fissure, bathing in the lava, and I hurried and threw it down there, and some of them did not like that.
Wow. Hundreds of them. That's crazy.
I think we should get going.
Well, yeah, I see. All right, so first off, how much blood did I manage to collect in that pot?
About that much. So if the pot's this, what is it, about an inch worth on the
Okay,
bottom.
then. Well, I just take, like, pretty much a handful of mud and
Okay.
pack some mud in there and
All right.
stop it. And then
Okay,
just-
and it is, pottery is getting hot. It is hot.
All right. Then I also like tie a piece of cloth and string over it and put it on the end of a stick and be like,
Okay, River.
River's now just watching and just like, you can be stupid.
Okay, yeah, he's got a scorch. Now, was that your? Look like you did with your left hand. Yeah. Okay, so that is burned black on that fingertip.
But she does get him some aloe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, second-degree burn.
Eventually. Yeah, that will be a scar. You now have this weird mottled scar on your fingertip there.
cool.
And I wasn't a pyro as a kid to know anything about all the different kinds of burn wounds or anything.
This is going to affect your fiddle playing?
Well, yeah, I suppose we should be moving on before we disturb anybody else's bath time.
Yep. Karn's gathering stuff back up and putting away the lance back on pack horse and getting things organized, ready to go.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I have my hot pot on a stick, and pretty much I'm going to see if it's just if it stays hot.
Okay.
Cool down eventually.
All right. Farhad, what did you say?
Farhad mounts up.
Okay. River?
Yeah, River gets ready to leave.
Okay. Polk?
He's already on his pony, and he's getting ready to rejoin their riding order as we leave behind the lava emus.
So I take it the ground around it's starting to smolder and...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely.
Fun.
Yep. And it's kind of just slowly, like the whole carcass is just kind of deflating a little bit, it almost seems like. As it's dissolving.
Do you suppose we should put some rocks around it or dig a hole?
It's right in the middle of the right-hand side of the road.
So nothing flammable's really around.
No.
Okay, so I just want, just in case, make sure there's no brush nearby. We don't want a
It's
forest
clear.
fire coming behind us.
That whole area is pretty clear.
Okay.
So you get rolling along.
Yep.
All right. Moisha?
Moisha checks on Herschel first and then mounts up on Haskell.
Okay. Herschel gives a really wide berth around this creature, but that's about it. And so you guys finally get back on the road. You make the bend around the road. You guys now finally see, because only a couple of you had gone ahead, you see where, 100, 200 foot tall trees have been just ripped open. There's a couple of timbers laying across the road, just the smaller ones. They're not an obstacle for you. Your horses will step over them easily. If you had a cart, it would be a little trickier, but none of you do. And you see this little corridor has been torn through the woods, going roughly due east.
Does it look like any of that corridor was like singed or burned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, you can see some of it burning.
Okay.
Some of it's down a ways. You can see the fire. Some of the forest is burning. It's not like a forest fire, but you can see some of it burning.
It's a forest singe.
Yeah, it could turn into a full forest fire. You are up north. There's lots of snow here. There's a lot of moisture. These are mostly evergreens, although there's still some deciduous mixed in.
It's like how do they, hundreds of them, how do they stay alive? How do you keep a forest there for any length of time?
Well, ask Karn what he saw.
It's like,
He told you there was a fissure.
yeah. Wait, so I turned to Karn's like, how they just not burn down the whole forest? You said you saw hundreds of these?
They were deep in a fissure in the earth.
Wow.
But all the woods around were destroyed. They were just stumps and scorched.
I wonder what they eat. You think they eat the lava?
I think they eat us.
No.
Or at least they try to.
Maybe they cook you first.
I think that they cook it going down. I mean,
And he's doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, there's more talking than usual, but this was his chance to. He just had a pretty interesting encounter. He's a little chatty for him.
His blood's still pumping.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you can see his hands got a slight tremor from the adrenaline and stuff.
This brings to mind something I've been considering for a while. That giant goose illusion I've got seems to be fairly handy. We might keep that. I might keep that one in the repertoire.
Your
But
trademark.
I wonder if any of you and the party know how to do animal calls.
Oh, I do. All kinds. I do like
'cause-
lots of little bird whistles and things like that. Which
'cause
I
if,
cannot do myself, but not being able to whistle.
If you could recreate a honk sound
A honk sound.
of a goose, it'd make it a little bit more believable.
Yeah.
I can't do anything while I'm concentrating
Oh,
on the spell.
I mean, kind of like a duck. I could probably make a duck call, and then just make it a little bit bigger, maybe.
Because I have a voice cone
A what?
that someone could use to make it to amplify the sound of their voice.
You
Oh.
pull out your voice cone.
Yes,
Okay.
my collapsible voice cone.
It pulls out a collapsible voice cone.
Like
Spreads it.
like a little,
Hello, my darling.
like a little
Yeah.
cheerleader.
Right.
Wow. No, yeah, I can whittle up a duck call. That ain't too hard.
So, are you going to be now practicing your duck goose call?
Yes.
Are we going to be attacked by half-dragon ducks?
All right, but you guys are finally after staring down this huge, whatever this creature was, tore through the forest,
And
right?
carved
Left
his
this huge
murder it like
20-foot
anything.
wide gash through the woods. Just walking through it, it did this.
Yeah. No, we got Carney. It's okay.
So,
He's a nice-
just a little taste of what's there on the east side of the road. Because the west side sounds tame. On the east side, you hear all those strange creature sounds in the woods and such. Although they're a little quiet. When this all happened, it got a lot quieter.
And what we faced is not what it seems caused the initial concern.
Right. It was you did
That
not
thing-
you
that
never
thing
saw
seemed much
whatever
bigger.
did the woods. Yeah. When you guys do come there, you do see one of the footsteps though. This huge clawed foot.
Yep.
It was about, I think it was about 5 feet long.
And it apparently, went to the road and then stopped. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did it look any recognizable, similar to any animal?
Not really. It 3-toed, very large and clawed.
Was it webbed between the toes?
Hard to tell from the road.
I think it's like a giant duck or maybe a giant geese.
No, nothing like a duck. No, nothing like a duck. Something scary.
I don't know. Giant geese are pretty scary.
All right. So you continue on, and eventually evening's starting to come on.
I occasionally check how hot that I hold my hair
It's
around.
slowly, you think slowly cooling, but it's still really, 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 really hot.
Wow,
Too hot to touch.
man, this thing's harder than coals. This is crazy.
So evening's coming around. Moisha, do you want to go do your search for a place? Or you guys going? Well, here's the thing. The road's pretty much just this corridor between the woods. The woods are very thickly undergrown. So your options are to blaze a trail through the woods, hack your way through to try to find something, or just camp in the road.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
13.
What's your stat for that?
Just a minute, I'm looking.
Wisdom.
Right.
16.
Okay. So you do a bunch of searching, and you do find one little spot. You're going to have to travel a little bit. By the time you find it, it's starting getting near dark, and you have to double back and tell everybody. But you do find one spot on the west side of the road where the woods actually kind of pull away a little bit and make a little bit of just a small clearing. There's nothing else there, but at least it's a little bit of a clearing, about 20 feet in and about 50 feet long. So and it's flat. So at least it's a spot where you could, and it does look like people have. There's rocks for a couple of fire rings and such. So it looks like people have camped here before sporadically. No other resources. There's no spring. There's no cover. The undergrowth all around is pretty thick, except it has been a little. You can tell people have been chopping the undergrowth and grabbing what they can to burn wood, and there's some scattered wood here and there. So the undergrowth here has been thinned a little bit compared to the rest of the trek so far in the wild woods.
Well, are we all there now, or?
Well, no, that's Moisha. That's description for Moisha.
Okay.
You want to go
I
back
wasn't
and
sure how
tell
far
folks it's getting
you
near
were
dark
scouting
by the
ahead.
time you get back.
Yeah. Hey folks, I found a place we can camp. It's not much, but it's a little bit away from the road. And it's mostly flat.
20 feet.
Well, it's something. I wonder, with the local fauna around here, you think we could get away with a fire without anybody suspecting us?
Well, I don't know the wisdom of that, but there are fire rings.
Actually, how hot is that pot still?
Extremely.
You know, we could probably just put this in the fire ring and just, cook on it.
Oh, I was thinking
It's
we
like
could,
a hot stone.
I was thinking we could build a little a small pyre to light up, and you just pour a little bit on top.
Well, I mean that too.
It's like the starter and the spark.
Yeah, I mean we could do that, sure. But I'm just saying is that.
So I assume you guys are walking towards the camp
Yeah.
while you're discussing
Yeah.
this. Okay. So it's about half hour after dark. The sun, it's dark. What are you doing? You're just relying on the horses because you can't see at all in the dark.
Yeah,
Everybody else
pretty
can.
much.
Everybody else has infravision except you.
Yeah.
So just rely on the horses, which are tied together roughly anyway. So
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty much.
I think I was nearby him, so we'll say I'm behind him, and I'll just say a little to the left.
The horse just pretty much follows the other horses.
Well, yeah. But if it ever wanders a little
Okay.
bit to the side.
All right. But eventually you get there in the dark. So the rest of you can see it. Yeah, it's not much. It's just a little flat, grassy area with about 3 fire pits, one at each end and one in the middle. Just small ones, not big ones. They're about a foot across. And you can see that the undergrowth here has been thinned a little bit, and there's not really piles of wood, but little scatterings of branches here and there that can be used for firewood. And of course, and again, this is the west side of the road, not the east side. The east side, as you traveled north, the noises came back and got scarier as you proceeded. The west side, generally what happens is if something roars on the east side, everything on the west side suddenly goes quiet for a little bit, and then after a little bit, the animal sounds and the birds, everything slowly come back. So kind of this trade-off in sounds, kind of back and forth in stereo between really scary, many unidentifiable sounds, some very loud and many kinds. Oh man, careful! Peg the microphone. Whereas on the left side, it's normal, deep woodland sounds that are not scary at all. And when this gets loud, this gets quiet, and then when that's quiet, then this gets back to a normal pitch or volume. So rest of you can see. You can't see a thing, but Moisha announces you have arrived. What do you do, Tor?
All right then. Hey, you said there's a fire pit?
Yes, there is.
It's right here.
All right.
I light a torch.
So, Moisha, do you point to it in the dark when you say it's right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can't see.
Here.
I light a torch and hold
Okay.
it nearby him.
All right, then
Okay.
I have my hot pot on a stick and be like, yeah, I have my magic glow stick.
Are you going to get it out?
I'm not thinking that's a smart thing to do with the dark
Okay.
here. It's like, no, that's fine. Here, can you just take this? This
So you do you or don't you light your torch?
I light the torch.
All right, you light
Oh.
the torch anyway.
All right. I mean, I'm just figuring there's a whole bunch of nasty things out in the dark, and we probably don't want to do that. Maybe they're afraid. No, they wouldn't be afraid of fire. No, never mind.
When he lights the torch, you guys see the light of the torch reflect in many different eyes on the east side of the woods. Down low, a little ways up, a little higher up, midway, like every few feet, sets of eyes, the light reflects off of them all the way high up into the trees. Hundreds and hundreds of pairs of eyes, sometimes not pairs, sometimes octets and
Clusters.
trios and of eyes. Some red reflections, some yellow reflections.
And this is the nope side.
This is the east side,
The nope
right
side.
across from you.
Okay.
When you light that, you see just the eyes reflecting in the woods there.
As
Many
a player,
kinds.
what I'm hearing is there's an experience point farm right across the
Oh sure, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
go
for
over
it.
there and grind a bit.
stand in the safety of the safe side of the street, start shooting arrows.
Yeah, then you'll get a ticket for poaching.
So Farhad's pondering.
Someone killed 2 of the last lava emus.
Of hundreds. Okay, so you're getting out with you're hopping down off your horse right now.
Yeah.
River. But all of you see those eyes reflecting when he lights that torch. River.
River is gonna get off her horse and get ready for the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this, so we'll do a quick little draw here. Oh, except my markers are all in the bus, aren't they?
So there.
Of course they are.
Ah! You got any of them laying around?
Is that a marker?
Is that one?
Yeah, it's a dry erase. We'll be going monochromatic today.
Again.
I'm feeling blue.
Road,
This is blue period.
woods right up to the edge. Woods, then where the kind of clearing is, and then the woods, and the road continues. So, the compass is correct. So there's a little hit here, hit here, hit here. They're not quite that big.
Can you picture that?
All the eyes looking back at you.
Oh yeah, Dan, if you can. All right, so that's what you see, River.
Comforting.
You should just take the marker and take the back of it off and blow into it, and that'll be all the eyes.
Yeah.
When it hits the.
Splattering, yeah. So River.
River is she's getting off her horse, like gonna get ready for us to camp.
South, central, or north?
In the central area.
Okay.
And she is
Right about here?
keeping
Okay.
an eye on the east side
All
now.
right. Okay. Talk.
I'm going to watch as Torin experiments with his new toy.
Okay. And you two are down at this pit, right? Because that was the closest one. Or do you want to go to the
yes.
center?
Well, I probably don't know the other two are there yet.
Right. Well, yeah. So
So-
Torin and Talk.
I pretty much just put the.
I'm keeping my distance a little bit and watching.
Oh, okay. Where are you then?
Oh, just a little bit further back.
You're
What
gonna
do you
be-
mean back?
Towards River.
Okay.
Looking over his shoulder.
Safety zone.
Yeah. Where I can get a good
Does
at a
that
range
look
where I can
about
get
right?
where I can get a good view, but am probably free from any
So
splashes.
Dan, if you want,
There's not a whole lot. Probably only
tilt,
that much.
rotate the camera a little bit so
That
it can
much.
actually show this a little. I
mostly
know it's
dirt.
kind of small, but at least
I don't.
So there's
He doesn't
something.
trust you.
Well, that's probably a wise thing. I always am 14. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
You've actually got more wisdom than me.
I think I probably have more wisdom than anyone in the party.
Meta.
Wait, what's your
All right, Moisha.
actually? Probably not.
Moisha
That seems a little
is between River and Torin and Hawk,
Okay.
Much does.
with an arrow not gazing at the eyeballs.
Okay. Farhad. We cannot hear you, Joe.
Farhad is going to be as far away from the glistening eyes, the darkness as he can physically get, and still be outside of the woods.
And still be what? Outside of the woods?
Outside of the other woods.
Okay, so just north of
the tree
river.
line.
So just north of river, ahead, of, next to the behind the fire pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went far and hopped behind the rock.
All right. So and Karn and Gennaro will be just north of that, and you can have your horses tied to those woods there right at the edge if you like. If you like.
Well, no, I'm going to put the hot pot into the fire pit, just like lay it
Okay.
down so
Right.
it doesn't.
But
catch
what are
it.
you doing with your horse?
I'm going to be
And your
taking
pack
to the
horse.
tree line.
Okay.
I'm going to be tying their leads
Okay. So
there.
which horses did you have?
I had Allison Ridden and Dobson. Oh, actually, no. I have Alcerin and I have Leon. Dobson was with River.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dobson's here. My lovely handwriting.
All right.
All right, and let's see, Karn's horse, Mara's horse. Farhad, which one is your horse?
He has Kevin.
Kevin.
It's Kevin.
Not bad for a left-handed.
And, I was born left-handed.
That was an accident. No.
And let's see, of course, the Moisha's dog is with Moisha.
Well,
And,
Moisha's got Hasselfeld.
okay.
Another horse.
Yep, with another H.
Fourth.
Yeah, you got quite the little convoy going now. So we need to get all the miniatures laid out again and get the overhead camera working again.
So
You got most of the miniatures right there.
No, not horses. I gotta dig up the horses, yeah.
I open up my little lantern, my little
Okay.
glow sticks, since
Yep.
obviously there's fire now,
Yep.
and go about just like loosening packs and brushing horses and doing.
But you
all
put
that.
some of the blood in
No,
the...
I don't.
No,
the
not
whole
yet.
pot's just there, so it doesn't catch anything on fire, but it's still all
Okay,
sealed up.
just sitting there, okay. All right, then you start setting up camp.
Yeah.
Okay. River?
Yeah. River's mostly just keeping an eye out on the east side of the woods.
Okay, the
because-
eyes blink at you, some of them don't.
Yeah.
As I said, some of them are mono, some are in pairs, some are in trios, some are 8. A little higher up in the trees, there's about 8 of them in a cluster of different sizes. Yeah. 3 guesses what those might be. The first 3 don't count.
It's the ones that don't glow that you gotta worry about.
Okay, talk.
He's gonna
Damn, I closed out my browser again. Closed out the browser again.
find a nice place nearish to where I'm at actually right now and set out my bedroll.
Okay. All right, you're setting up camp. Moisha?
Moisha will set down or stash his bow and arrow and roll out his bedroll,
Okay.
his furs, whatever.
Okay. Karn and Janera set up camp as well. And Farhad.
Farrell is gonna get ready to, camp down.
Yeah, you all finished getting ready to camp down.
I'll take first watch.
All right. Yeah, we haven't done watch in a while here, so let's see.
Do we want to do 2-man watch this time?
Yeah.
So who's going to be with Moisha?
I'll be with Moisha.
Okay. So that's first watch. Who's second watch?
Not everybody volunteer at once.
I want 3rd watch.
Okay.
I'll take the second watch then.
Okay.
Farhad will take second watch with Tar.
Okay. And Karn will do watch with talk then. All right. All right. Anybody make a campfire? What do you do? How long do you burn your torch for? They're an hour maximum.
Well, I'm mainly doing it for his use, so
Yeah, that'll take him about 20-30 minutes to do his thing.
I guess it depends on how long it takes him to set up his little camp area,
Right. So
and
20, 30 minutes.
whether or not we decide to actually light a fire or not.
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, not sure it'd do a whole lot of good.
What do you say, Karn?
Well, if the barrier holds, shouldn't matter.
Oh yeah. So I was wondering how those 2 things get on the other side of the barrier, because it's out on the road, right? And the barrier's supposed to be on the other side of the road. So how do they get on the road for us to even have a fight with them?
The barrier only goes halfway into the road.
Oh, I felt they should have built the road different then. And I'll make a note to always be on the west side of the road.
But the west side could still have critters,
Oh, aye, but
so fire could help.
exactly. I have a feeling that the creatures on the west side are probably a little wary of fire, given the beasts on the right.
I think fire would help.
All right, then.
I would have thought you had enough of fire today.
He actually just gives you a little bit of a wry, tight-lipped grin, but a little bit of acknowledgement there.
All right, let's see how well this works. So,
He seems to actually agree with your joke there rather than offended.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I didn't call him a coward.
Right.
It's an improvement.
It is. So Karn is actually going to go ahead and the middle fire pit, he starts gathering wood and putting it in the pit there.
all right, then Torn will also gather wood from the edge and put it in the lower pit.
Okay. All right, and so you get 2 fires going?
Yes, I do not open the crockery that I have.
Do you take it out of the pit?
I do
to
do
make a
that.
fire? Okay.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. Still really super hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it like in the pit, but just on the edge.
I just figured I'd get some like other stones and get the shovel and like kind of dig a little spot so it doesn't burn anything instead.
Because when you set it down, it starts burning the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the grass within about a foot of it starts to wilt.
I wonder how long this is gonna go.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool little experiment, huh?
Meanwhile, we're getting radiation sickness.
That's later in the adventure. All right.
Powers.
We're gonna fight. Be going up against a plutonium dragon, aren't we?
I use my laser eyes.
All right. You guys do your watch. So first watch. You rest. You go to sleep. It's a little fitful because the noises on both sides are disturbing. You do indeed hear on the west side what sounds like snapping through the woods occasionally is a grumpy bear. Those of you who had enough experience being on the road to recognize the sounds of a grumpy bear, and it sounds like there's one cracking through the woods occasionally. Somewhere in the distance, doesn't sound super close,
See, he
but
was my
enough to
favorite
keep you
Care
on your
Bear.
toes. Moisha and River, but all of you, because of that on both sides, it's making sleep a little tricky. But Moisha and River, you're on your watch. The eyes that were super concentrated on all of you when you lit the torch slowly start to blink out and go away, and now just different eyes seem to come up at different times. So there's
Except
always
for
something
one.
reflecting on the firelight. What's that?
Except for the one.
Right. But yeah, different kinds just kind of come and go during your shift, but they never come out of the woods. But the eyes keep changing, and just colors and shapes and numbers and distributions like you've never seen before.
Have you ever seen colors and distributions and shapes of eyes like that before?
You're asleep. So you're just like,
See, I missed that we were already started to watch.
as I
thought we
said,
were still-
these two are on watch.
Yeah.
The rest of you are going to sleep, but it was a fitful sleep because of all these noises.
Yeah, there's these mushrooms I found one time on the
Light
wild.
these eyes and have them reflect in certain timing patterns. We could create moving pictures within a box.
That's how we'd share our wrestling
So,
stage show with everybody.
so
This magic box.
your watch, other than the bear sounds and a few raccoons come check you guys out up high in the trees, and maybe a few deer here and there kind of make the horses a little nervous at first. Other than just this constant life, very alive, right? You guys were going through this countryside where it was pretty barren, and there wasn't a whole lot. There were a few squirrels and things like that. You've come into these wildwoods, and they're just both sides just burgeoning with life. It's a little disconcerting. It's almost like the noise of a city. There's so much noise, but nothing really happens during your shift other than just to keep you constantly on your toes because a twig snaps here and an owl flutters up there, and there's just always something moving and making noises, but nothing really happens during your shift. Is there anything you want to discuss or do before we wrap up your shift?
Not for River.
Okay.
Well,
Torn?
she's gonna. No,
Oh.
it's me and Moisha, not Torn.
I'm sorry.
Second shift.
Moisha and River. Moisha.
Moisha just is gonna finish his watch and curl down next to Herschel.
Okay.
I have a feeling River probably will never be on a watch with Torin.
That is now challenged him.
All right. So you wake up Torn and Farhad.
Yeah, River will meditate for the rest of the
Okay.
night.
Do you report anything to your second watch about what you observed?
Nothing happens.
Okay.
So.
Some stuff moved.
Torn and Farhad.
Oh boy, man, is it like being way up in the mountains in springtime? It's just everything's around and wow, something else. You know, I sit down and constantly am chattering about the mountains in springtime and like where I came from, how my uncles, did the tours up into the Affirmium. He's responsible for that over there. Gotta really appreciate that ancient magic, keeping all them dirty, disgusting creatures at bay. Pretty amazing when you think about it. I mean, that thing was on fire. While I'm doing this, I'm carving. I'm making. Right now, I'm making the pretty much what I remember as a duck call. I'm going to make it larger, so it has more of a baritone to it.
Okay.
By the way,
Not
do you have
going to
volume
test
for
it though.
this? They can't hear Joe.
Can't hear him at all when he talks?
Yeah.
All this
I think they
time?
turned it off. Yeah, John just told me.
Can't hear
You
me
didn't
at
do
all.
a sound check on that when we were...
I thought we did.
Oh, man.
Mighty fortress is corn on God, the God of strength who has all the muscles of the earth. His earth is the muscle, and his muscle is the earth. So dig into his muscle.
He's just
Find
really,
yourself a
really
grave.
low.
So it's only picking up on here. You're not porting the audio in.
Yeah.
Mm. Man, you're really good
You
at making
can
that
add
kind
an
of sound.
audio device from that.
It's like
Or just
Divine
unmute one because it might already be
intervention
there.
or something where you was meant for chord.
Okay.
So Firehut is singing his psalms to chord, and you're going on and on about your family and mountains.
Mountains,
right?
family, carving a large duck
Joe?
call.
And Farhad has like his head on a swivel. He's
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, lots of stimulus everywhere.
being vigilant about the watch.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to be vigilant about.
I'm in my own little world of the past and what I'm working on.
Okay. Your watch goes through, other than just constant stimulus and noise, it really keeps you on your toes. A little twig snapping here. What was that? What was that?
I was just
But-
there.
Right. I mean, it never gets close enough. Somewhere in the middle of your watch, somewhere in the distance to the west, you heard a pack of wolves kind of psyching themselves up a little bit, doing the yipping and a little bit of howling, but not getting into full-blown howls.
Yeah.
Are they chippy?
Are they chippy? Is that what you said?
Chibi.
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 Oh, no, not that you recognize from the sounds. You don't hear the excited monkey sounds at
Oh,
this point.
thank goodness. Thank Cord.
All right. Your watch goes through uneventfully.
All right then.
Third watch.
Oh, how do I do on carving a duck call? large duck call.
Did you have a skill set on that we hit assign? Wood craftsmanship or anything like that?
I've done things in the past, and I think we're just doing it under my whiz
Warrior Dex?
or your dex. Either one. Those are about comfortable.
Give it a shot. Just give it a roll. There
8
is-
of I 13 or a 14. So
Okay, there is a craftsman secondary skill that you can acquire through
Yeah.
proficiency points
okay.
if you want to get better at wood crafting and
Yeah.
such.
I
Check
figured
that
right
out.
now small things that are common.
Yeah, that was
for
8
people.
out of 13.
If we're going by dex, yeah.
Okay. It's passable, but you're not a craftsman yet, so it's got issues. You have to hold it just right, or it doesn't, or it just goes.
I don't test it, so I don't know yet. but
Oh, okay.
That one
It
would be-
looks okay.
Okay.
It's a bit rough, but it looks
Play
okay.
with it more.
Yeah, all right.
You need to put a grass
You'll,
seed in.
but when you do go try it, you gotta get just right for it to do its thing. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise it's like a pitiful sick duck, duckling, or just nothing. All right. So third watch, do you guys relay anything to Talk and Karn?
There's the wolves, but they sound far off. I guess if they get close, you just throw a rock at them. They never mind much.
Farahot?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So you guys come on to watch.
All right. Night.
The west side of the forest has been slowing down, getting a little less quiet. East side continues, just nonstop. Creatures coming and going. Again, off in the distance, you hear sounds of some very large things doing very large things, breaking very big things. At one point during your third watch, about an hour into it, so still about a couple hours before daylight, you see way up on a mountaintop what looks like just a gout of flame shoots from the top of one of the mountains briefly. Talk.
Got a flame, mountaintop.
Did it?
Just
Boom.
briefly. You just saw, it was dark, looking up at the mountains, you just happened to be looking at the time, and you just saw, just a little spout of what looks like a flame just shot up into the sky and then faded away.
He tenses up and is having flashbacks to seeing the soldiers explode.
Okay. During the daytime, you did not see anything that looked like a volcano in that part of the mountain range, so that was unexpected. And again, it's a long ways away, many tens of miles.
North, south, east, west?
East. It was east, and the mountains are all east of you.
Karn, did you see that?
Yeah. He just gives a little nod in the firelight.
That's some sort of signal flare, you think?
He looks really tense.
So ways off.
Dragon fire.
Dragon? Like a dragon.
Why do you think the mountains are named what they're named?
I thought it was because they were kind of shaped like a dragon spine. And maybe they have some, I guess.
Infested.
So like actual, real,
especially up here.
Real dragons. You know, like big ones. You know, not those little wyvern things. And okay, gotcha. You're right. The dragon. Huh.
Side quest, we get a dragon egg.
We had one group in this campaign that their entire goal was to be able to subdue, control, and ride dragons. So that was their dream. That was their big long-term goal, was to become dragon riders. So they both were beast masters and building. This is in Rollmaster, but they were building skills towards being able to control dragons.
Noble ambitions.
I just want a goose.
The fearsome goose master.
And it's big enough you can ride it.
Yeah. So that was the
Ireland's
only
stupid.
really notable thing that during your shift, and then the dawn slowly, comes to. You finish your meditation,
Yeah.
Before their shift is over, long before. And I don't know if you want to share any of that with River when River is up and about, and the others later as dawn breaks start to get up and stir.
So you know how the mountains that we're getting ready to cross are called the Dragon Spine Mountains?
Yes.
Well, see, the part I lived in of the Dragon Spine Mountains, we didn't really have many dragons.
Yes.
It's just kind of just a name.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently up here, it's not just a name.
There are dragons where I am from.
I don't know. You don't seem to have the same kind of dragons from your reaction here.
I worship a dragon.
Yes, no, and there are dragons that are quite good and benevolent and worshipped, I'm sure. Even here, but
Daenerys comes walking up.
generally dragons. Yeah, you don't want to come across one.
No, I understand that.
Yes, but yeah, they're a ways back that way. We saw something. Karn recognized it as dragon fire, but yeah.
So tell me, River, you say you worship a dragon?
Raijin is the lord of the sea, where I am from.
Is a sea dragon?
Yes, he controls the tide.
Oh, I'm not familiar with your people's followings and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You say he controls the tides of the sea?
Yes.
Oh. Please do tell me more if you're willing. Would love to know more.
He controls the tide. There are great pearls that aid him in this, and he has to do with weather and other natural phenomena. I lived near the sea at a shrine to him. And
do you need to make offerings of any kind or sacrifices?
You may have noticed that I make offerings every morning to
That
him.
is to your dragon
Yes.
god. Very interesting. Is he responsive as their cord deity has been?
To some of his followers, yes.
Does his power reach inland as far as here?
Anywhere where there is a stream or water, he can be contacted.
That's marvelous. Very. So she, again, she's always got her face kind of veiled and half of it covered with her hair, but you sense a little bit of a friendly smile. And she just kind of nods and goes back trying to pack up her gear.
Does he control those poofs of water spray you sometimes see in the distance on the ocean?
Yes.
So there's so you worship a poofed magic dragon and you lived by the sea.
In the autumn mist.
I regret nothing.
Fun damage.
You never regret it.
Roll system shock.
All right. Is there anything anybody wants to do before breaking camp and getting back on the road?
Is that 10 yet?
All right, you got to do your cord
Yeah.
workout stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're getting all the loud grunty noises from Torin.
So you're doing that before you check on your
Karn.
pot?
Yes. Power cord.
And Karn's doing his morning martial workout.
And those cooldowns between sets before we get to the next reps, I just watch Karn and see what he does.
All right. He doesn't actually take a weapon out, but he moves as though with and without weapons.
Like he's holding one.
Yeah, sometimes, and other times it's just he's actually doing what looks like fist fighting and such. And
What if you katas?
kind of. I mean, it's not
Formalized
East
as
Asian
shadow
style
boxing?
or anything.
Yeah.
It's a more Western style, but and he moves. For somebody in his 60s, he's moving very well. Yeah, you could learn a little something from watching him, certainly.
So after our morning ritual and blessings be upon Karn.
Always make sure you guys point that out. That you point out that ritual. So.
Blessings be upon us by the grace of Cord.
And
Man, feel good.
Yep, you get powered back up.
All right.
Put a sticky note on your character sheet to
And I head over to my clay pot and see how it's doing and feel.
All the grass within a foot around it is completely dead.
Wow. Because it's like I hold my hand
Feels
close.
just as hot as far as you can tell,
Wow.
without having an actual thermometer.
Hey guys, it's still burning hot over
I
here.
noticed the pot is looking a little more cracked too.
Wow. Huh. That probably ain't gonna last long, huh?
I think you need a bigger pot.
Maybe if we had some sort of like.
Careful. Oh, was it okay? Maybe you weren't going there. Never mind. I thought you were going somewhere that wasn't family friendly, but that's okay. All right.
No.
I don't know,
Okay,
maybe we had some
okay.
sort of like a metal bucket or something.
Just
A
a
lid.
sort of a Jaws reference. I think we need a bigger boat.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, chances are if I carry this around, it's gonna break, and then the horse is probably gonna get burnt real bad. Man, I wish I could. Man, just think of what you could do with this. You could keep your tent warm all night. Just think you put it right in the middle of your tent where the fireplace is, and just no smoke or nothing. Everything stays nice and toasty.
And you'll be dead in the morning.
Why?
Freshly baked.
Oh, it's not that hot.
You put a ceiling over it.
Oh.
You'll get a lot hotter.
You got a metal vial, right?
Yes.
Well, we'll try putting some in the metal, and that way it won't just,
All right. Here you go.
All right then.
I've got no need of it at the moment.
All right then. So I get a metal vial.
Yeah, it's just a little small one.
Okay, that's fine. What does it use to stopper it?
Cork.
I guess you're gonna have to use some more mud.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. Man, it's not gonna hold a lot. I guess this thing was bigger. Oh. I'm seeing they're confounding the complexities of it.
Logistics.
Yeah. If you want to do the thing while...
Okay, so he's contemplating River.
Yeah, when River first got out of her meditation, she did all of her normal morning things.
All right. Do you go search in the woods for a source of water or anything, or? And as far as like bodily functions, do you go into the woods, or you just stay close to the edge there? For each of you, by the way, some of you might be more shy than others with your characters.
She would probably go a little deeper in the into the woods.
About how far?
Just far enough so it's like private.
Okay.
Bush.
Yeah.
So you do so, but you hear critters moving all around. And you see them as you're doing your thing. Squirrels appearing down at you. A couple of deer pop out from behind a fern. There's like animals everywhere. It's like just packed with animals. It's like you could almost step on them just trying to walk through. There's so many. So much life.
So much trapping.
Even where you came from, usually the only places that you saw this much density of animal life, because usually just surviving, you need to spread out the resources.
Yeah.
Was only in like preserves and such that were owned by daimios and such that really controlled the access and really brought in a lot of creatures and such.
Or large farming.
Well, that's totally different. But
Well, I mean, just density of creatures.
yeah, but in a natural setting, that's the only place you've seen anything close to this, and it seems totally wild. Whereas those places were very well groomed and such.
Yeah.
So it's quite remarkable. You haven't experienced this level of wild life before. But it does make you a little jumpy because things pop out here and there. Just seem curious, but makes you a little nervous. As you're heading back, you do get taken a little bit by surprise because a little brown fox runs past your feet, like within about 5 feet of you. Just kind of scurries past and then gives a look back at you and then continues on going. But, took you by a little surprise there. Anything else anybody wants to do before breaking camp? You finished your cord workout. Farhad. Moisha?
Go ahead, Farhan.
Farhan is contractually obligated to go into the woods to do his necessities.
Did you say contractually ovulated?
Obligated.
I know what he meant, but it didn't sound right.
Okay. How far into the woods do you go?
Far enough that I think River can't see me.
Okay. You only have to go about 10, 20 feet, and the undergrowth is so dense it's pretty easy to be hidden.
Right. But not so far that I can't see the camp.
Right. Okay. Talk.
He's just gonna go behind a bush.
Just right near the edge there.
A little ways in, but
All right. When you say little ways, give me distances here. It matters.
3.5 feet, 20 feet, 12 inches.
6.
That would be 4 feet.
6 foot.
Okay. So, no problem.
2 or 3 yards.
All right, Moisha.
Moisha will go into the woods, within sight of camp, but trying to find a bush to protect poor River's eyes.
Okay. And Herschel is very excited. Herschel is like smelling the smells and wanting to go chase after critters. That's only because Herschel's so well trained that he's not off running and barking in the woods, chasing squirrels and such all over the place. He's not scared at all. He's excited and keeps looking at you for permission to go hunt.
Good boy, Herschel. Stay here.
Looks a little disappointed, but complies. All right. So y'all do your thing. Finish packing up. You get on the road.
The tinderbox. It's metal. That would work.
See, have you at least been breaking camp while you've been contemplating all this?
I've
You've just been fixated on this. So everybody around you is breaking camp. And you guys notice as you're getting near completing breaking camp that Torin hasn't done a thing to get ready to go.
No.
He's been obsessing over this pot vial thing. Anybody want to say anything to him?
Torin,
Yeah. Where is that tinderbox anyway? Down, Dobson.
you about ready to ride on?
What? Oh shit. Yes. Maybe another. I grumbled out and start going and tending to the pack animals.
Okay. All right. So you get all that going. Everybody's now waiting for you by the time you get it finished.
Okay.
Does anybody want to leave without him, or will you all wait for him?
I'll wait for
Okay.
him.
Do you glare at him?
Because
Yeah.
Torin doesn't mean we don't want to leave the palace.
We're just going to stare at him awkwardly.
Okay. Are you even aware of it? Or are you just completely oblivious? Your character.
I'm aware of it, but I'll choose to ignore it this
Okay.
time.
So what are you doing about the little crockery pot thing that's kind of cracking a little?
Yeah. That's just asking for trouble. Well, I put pretty much.
Because you never do that. You put what?
Well, the thing is that if it breaks, it's probably going to hurt the horses.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just put it right in the middle of the fire pit, and if it leaks out, it leaks
Okay.
out, whatever.
And just leave it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Just leave it there for the
Do you
next.
keep the vial or give
for
it
the
back
next
to
group
him?
of people to be like, what
I hand
the
back
heck?
the valve.
All right. Gives you back the vial.
Oh,
All right. You guys get on the road and start moseying along. A couple hours go by. And Moisha up ahead, and see who's, let's see. It's Moisha is in the lead by about 100 feet. Okay, so Moisha up ahead, somewhere on the right side in the woods. You can't tell, maybe 20, maybe 30 feet into the woods. You faintly hear, a little more faint than that. It sounds like a plea for help, very faintly from the woods.
Ow! Help me!
Which side of the woods?
This only Moisha so far, but this is the east side of the woods, about 20 or 30 feet into the woods. You can hear somebody calling for help. Sounds like a little old lady voice. And we're going to leave it right there and take our 10-minute break, and then we'll be back for Heroes of the Mist. If you haven't donated yet, please swing by rpgresearch.com and click on donate, or go to patreon.com/rpgresearch and donate there. And if you become a supporter, you get tons of hero points, and you could affect the story. If you go to mistheroes.com, go to audience interaction, you can see the catalog of things you can do to affect the story almost real time. So check it out. We'll be
All the
back
cool
about-
kids are doing it.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Bye.